Hello and welcome back to Balanced Psychologies. As always, I hope that you're doing really well. So today's video, we're talking about the narcissist identity disorder. There is no identity. And this is what we're talking about. Who are they? Why they don't have any identity and they take on yours. And what is the meaning of not having an identity? How does it impact you? What does it mean? So we're going to be looking at all of this in the video. Just before we get into the video, I do want to mention my Patreon members. Thank you so much for being a patron in my membership. Just quickly want to mention, we do live streams every fortnight. There is a podcast, there's worksheets. These are all resources to help you alongside your healing. These resources are there to empower you and make you feel confident and strong. Okay, so let's get into the video. The narcissists, why they hide themselves. Narcissists don't have a real personality. Even though their character, their personality may seem disordered, they don't have a fixed identity. The issue is in the character. The issue is in the personality disorder. That's what we're talking about. Disordered personalities, not understanding themselves, being nasty, being derogatory. These are all ego processes. The way that they behave, the way that they interact within their environment, the way they interact socially, all is disordered. I came across this information that I think really describes narcissism really well. Identity disorder. The narcissist doesn't seem to have an identity. Instead, they borrow and they steal ours. Okay, so what do I mean by that? They mirror, okay? They mirror. And this is done for a variety of reasons. Firstly, because they have no real self, no depth of character. Something has been missing since childhood. So they imitate somebody else's in a bid to become accepted by their social circle, but also to fit in to their surroundings. This is all about the big ideal self. This is the ideal self. This is the illusion that they portray to everybody. This isn't a real projection or a real them. They're not authentic in themselves. So they project out there to be somebody completely different because they're hiding one vital fact. They don't like themselves. They don't want anybody else to know who their real selves are. In actual fact, there is a lot of shame and guilt underneath that basically motivates this behavior. And that's why they do this. That's why there is this big false self. That's why the mirroring happens. Think back to the beginning of your relationship with the narcissist. It was all about being the best version of themselves, being somebody that they thought you would really like. It wasn't really authentically themselves. So as time went on, you then realized that, hold on a minute, this really isn't them. So this is what we're talking about. There's no fixed identity. There's no real identity. Who are they really? Who are you really? This tactic is also used on us when we try to lock us into a relationship. They will imitate a person or a soulmate so that we will get into a relationship with them, so that we will like them, so that we will accept them. And this is a bizarre behavior, and it's part of this need that they have to be accepted, not to be different, to be the same as everybody else, to not stand out, because already in their minds they feel separation, they feel isolated from other people because they know that they are a little bit different. They know already that there's something different about them, and this difference exists in their delusional mind. Having suffered the abuse that they have, they want to disguise it by pretending to be somebody else. And that really is the crux of it. They disguise it by pretending to be somebody else. You see, identity is something that defines us. You could say our character, our stamp on the world. What do you want to be recognized for? This is something that is rather personal and intimate. To have it imitated or copied without permission is almost like plagiarism or identity theft. It almost seems like an attack on you. The opposite of the false self is the authentic self. The authentic self is the core of who you really are, not what people tell you you are or what you should be. The you is defined by people who do not really know you. the doubters, the critics, and the others who see the part of you that you choose to show. It's the you that you talk about to the people and know you best, and whom you can trust to be yourself. But you have to be careful with your vulnerabilities. But you see, narcissists can't afford to be vulnerable at all, especially not to themselves. Remember, they need to believe the lie. So they make up this fictitious false self who is everything the narcissist is not. The entitled, the superior, the inflated and grandiose self fed by narcissist fantasies and what they can squeeze out of their sources of narcissistic supply. It's kind of like, do you know when children, you want to be present and you basically pretend to be a character? You know, you use your imagination and you become your favorite kind of film character or TV character and you reenact the scenes of the show. You have to really believe you're the character and feel yourself in the scene. And this is called method acting. And I know that I have touched upon this kind of like in other videos or other posts, but it's the same principle. Reenacting a character and truly believing that you are that individual in that life or in that scenario. Narcissists have to believe that lie. They have to believe to the core that what they are doing is the truth, is really them, and they are hiding, and this is why they are their false selves. And remember, this is what we've talked about in other videos. This is part of their splitting of psyche. This is when they were children, they weren't accepted as themselves. Their parents or their parent didn't accept them the way that they were, so there had to be conditions to their love. In order to be accepted, the narcissists realize that they can't be their real selves. So this is where the split in psyche, in personality and character basically comes from, and that's why they do that. So as they get to adulthood, there's no different. What they're doing is they're mirroring your behaviors. They're kind of reflecting back to you what you want in a person, because they want you to like them, they want you to accept them. And once you do, that means that they are comfortable and then they are themselves. You know, it's a sad realization really, that you have to kind of like pretend to be somebody else, because being your authentic self is not an option, because there is no you. You begin to see just how delusional these individuals really are, how the veil between reality and fantasy is paper thin, which blurs the opportunity for sanity and wellness. This is why when they are caught in the truth, they cannot accept it, because they're embarrassed and there's shame that's motivating, you know, these actions or these behaviors, and they will lie to cover it up, because they cannot be revealed or they cannot be exposed. They are ashamed, they are afraid, and that's why they're always scanning the environment to make sure that there's not going to be any nasty surprises, or that they can control a situation, because then they know the outcome. The outcome is then controlled. And can you imagine living like this? Can you imagine having to be like this all the time? This is why they have depression, this is why they have anxiety, because they're constantly on alert. That's why they do this, because they don't want anyone to find out that they are different, that they don't accept themselves. And this is the whole reality of it, you know, the blurring of sanity and wellness. And that's really where this disorder really is defined, actually. It makes me really sad to kind of think that such individuals really exist, that they have tried to trick us along the way. The thing is, they do a really good job of it at first. Okay, let me reword it. They do it and the con is great at the beginning, but that's because we don't believe that such people exist, and we are not presented with the reality. It's all this smoke and mirrors, and over time, as certain things become apparent, we do figure it out. That's why we're here. That's why you are watching this video. You figured it out. You know, in the end, we do see through their smoke screen. So we should credit ourselves. You should credit yourself, okay? And if we didn't, we still would be with them. We'd still be in their world. And let's face it, it's a nasty place. It's dark, what they do. That these relationships are not healthy, that they are toxic, and that they are damaging. And the illusion, okay? The two never mix. And this is how we realize that this person is disordered. They use so many tactics to try and hide who they really are. So the narcissist really doesn't have an identity. So guys, I really hope that you've enjoyed the video. I hope that it kind of sheds some more light on why they do or behave the way that they do. It's odd, I know it's odd, but this is just who they are. So guys, I thank you so much for watching. As always, I do have the Patreon membership. Please do check down the details down in the description box. And also, if you have a question for me, I can answer it in a video format. Please do check the Wizio link in the description box below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.